woven into the fabric of our lives. Your presence, like a beacon of the city. From offering easily enough energy drinks to power the whole of Palatine, to nachos with cheese that may or may not be classified as a dairy product. You were always there to satisfy our late night cravings and early morning hardships. It didn't matter who came to your store. You served all customers with inclusive spirit, embracing everyone. From the weary traveler needing of a taquito to the late night stoner seeking a sauce and a pack of gummy bears. 7-Eleven, you welcomed them all with open arms and an array of delights. But the reason that I loved 7-Eleven and the new character that defined it for all of our experience, well, especially mine, was the banter, the laughter through all the aisles, the jokes about whether the cashier's name was always Raj or Sanjay, the playful jabs about the aroma of curry spices, mixing it with a wide variety of Slurpees. It's a quick quirk that, in its own peculiar way, became a part of the charm of the beloved store. The amount of free Slurpees and big gulps I got from the Indian cashiers were unmatched when growing up as well. Sure, I was always paraded with jokes like being called the nephew of the owner, the spice merchant of 7-Eleven, or some other racially insensitive jokes about how the store smelled like home. But when my total rang up to zero and theirs didn't, I had the last laugh. So as we close the chapter of 7-Eleven and satisfaction to all customers, I take solace in the fact that the spirit of culturally insensitive humor lives on. For you see, while the jokes may stop at 7-Eleven, they shall continue and grow from the subway down the street. Thank you. Next up is Neva.
Good morning, everyone. So I'm a speech competitor from the Friends speech team. So this is my first year and I wrote a speech and I hope you all enjoy it. And shout out to Miss Odie's first period, by the way. Hello to all of the phalanges of the show, Friends. You all are amazing. And to the ones who don't share the same enthusiasm, hello to you too. I'm Nalima Singh, claiming to being the biggest Commando fan of Friends. And I'm certainly not here to recount the entire series to you all. I mean, that would involve me describing all 6 characters and summarizing all the 10 seasons. And I know you all have better things to do, so let's be honest, who has time to go through the entire show? Instead, I am here to discuss a crucial and important aspect of the show that resonates with all of us, and is something we all should cherish. That aspect, my lovely friends, pun intended, is friendship. Friendship is a vital part of our lives and something we all get to experience. Friendship is sadly being undermined by some people, and that I mean that people are just rude and just try to ruin that pure bond by being disrespectful to their own friends. Rude. Although friendship is truly beautiful and it can be expressed in countless ways, whether it's helping your friend get ready for a special event or drawing a mustache on their face with a marker while they're asleep. But over the course of our lives, we go through some friendships that are so precious that we just cannot imagine our life without them. Just like Joey struggling to envision his life without Chandler when he moves in with Monica. He tries to highlight Chandler's flaws as a roommate to Monica, but ends up in tears, realizing that there was no roommate like Chandler, there is no roommate like Chandler, and there will be no roommate like Mrs. Chandler Bond, or as what their mailman thought Chandler's name was. I adore how these 2 characters express their friendship throughout the entire show. Now, some Friends fans might be thinking, hello, did she really just forget about Monica and Rachel? They're besties like Joey and Chandler. Well, no, I haven't really forgotten. It's just that I don't want to steal Joey and Chandler's thunder like Rachel did by kissing Ross on Monica's engagement night. I mean, speaking from Ross's perspective, they were on a break. Alright, Lima, calm down. It's just a friendship that Joey and Taylor shared as roommates was a bond that no one had the right to come in between them, and no one did because of the strength that bond held. Yes, they were friends, but they were also like brothers, always there for one another when needed. Many people do not having someone who encourages you when you try something new, telling you to keep going and not giving up. Like the time when Ross decided to teach Phoebe how to ride a bike. How friends are always there for each other, showing how a friend can support you so incredibly and make sure that you don't give up during that process. He helped her to overcome her fear and challenges of riding bikes. Unfortunately, some people don't have their Central Perk squad. They miss out on the silly things we do with our friends, like yelling out a movie spoiler in a movie theater full of people and ruining their moods, or putting a fake spider on another friend's shoulder and scaring the life out of them. Having friends means having people who stand with you during your good and your bad times. Good times, they'll be at your wedding, they'll make your bachelorette party a blast, they'll sing with you in karaoke nights, they'll go to clubs with you, and when bad times come, they will be the ones standing like a mountain right next to you, ensuring that you're not alone and help you get through your tough situations. As Aristotle, some Greek philosopher once said, friendship is a single soul dwelling in two bodies. This quote beautifully captured the essence of deep and meaningful friendships, where friends are so connected that they represent one single soul despite being two separate individuals. Friends are indeed a treasure in our lives, and they're reminded that we're never truly alone in this roller coaster of a journey called the life. So, Friends, the show, isn't just a show. It's a reminder that after all, in the grand scheme of life, friends are the real lobsters who will stand by your side and be there for you. Thank you. And now, please welcome Isabel.
Hi, everybody. First and foremost, I'd like to shout out Mr. Anderson's lit class. This piece I'm going to share with all of you today is actually a tribute to a very important person in my life who is here today, but they do not know that I wrote this about them. So you're going to ride along with that. 1968, the year it all began. The year MLK was assassinated. The year Nixon won in the White House. The year Apollo 8 orbited the moon. All historical events, relevant to some. My connection to the year 1968 involves from high school, but not in the way many think. In 1968, what was originally Palatine High School South, later changed to William Friend High School, welcomed the first graduating class it found. Within the senior class of 68, my grandpa would be part of the graduating class, a student body of approximately 300 students graduating. My grandpa has always been incredibly passionate in the world of sports, especially during his time at Frenham playing basketball. Being a basketball player was something my grandpa was motivated to accomplish in high school. He proved his worth and became a significant team member who developed a name for himself on the court. Being covered in the local newspaper never changed my grandpa's mindset when playing. He never let up, never went through the motions, never made excuses, never thought better of himself and his teammates. Over time, after going through high school and college, he never left the sport he loved. While teaching at Conant High School, he coached the boys' basketball team, successful both on and off the court, but now rather as an adult instead of a student. After retirement, he remained involved in the basketball community and coached for the New Trier Girls basketball program. Whether it was his time spent at Friend playing a sport that brought him joy and comfort, or coaching high school girls and boys basketball, being able to provide his knowledge and intelligence of the game makes it all that much more meaningful to me. The beauty of it all is a legacy I can pursue from my grandpa. Not just for the fact that I also go to Friend, but for the love of basketball that we both share. From being the only girl on the little kids' basketball teams and being coached by my grandpa and dad, Basketball has had an incredible impact on my family, not by the success of winning games, but by the time that has been shared through the sport. My love for the sport began in 2011 while playing in the YMCA youth basketball program and grew when I was a member of a 7th grade AAU national championship team. Recently finishing my final AAU season this summer and starting my high school basketball season, all make it a surreal moment, not just for myself, but for my grandpa too. Starting my freshman year and becoming a part of the Femme Girls basketball program was always a goal I had ever since the summer camp days when I was little. From the first practice of freshman year to approaching the tail end of my senior season, I am beyond appreciative of all that my grandpa and the Femme basketball program has taught me. Representing the person my grandpa once was when he stepped foot on the old French floor with his laced-up all-star Chuck Taylors with the promise of rolling an ankle. Honestly, we all knew those shoes were a good idea. Fasting forward from 1968 to 2024, I, the granddaughter, have the pleasure to tie my more secure Nike basketball shoes and step onto the newly renovated floor, but nonetheless, the same floor my grandpa once stood on. Staring into the crowd, overwhelmed by the energetic siblings, nervous parents, and supportive friends. I spot my grandpa within the crowd, wearing his color-coordinated green and gold outfit, which I always loved. Watching his granddaughter not only in the hopes for another victory, but watching and knowing that the deep love he possesses for basketball is shared with his granddaughter and will forever be shared. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Christian, and I'm this is Bo's first period of English class. And today I'm going to be sharing my poem that I wrote for my English class that I'm very proud of. And so I think I'll take it right into it. Last waves crashing against the shore of bleak skies paint a grand view of divergent fields. Unbridled colors dye my sky in anger and pleasure, in depression and joy, anxiety and calm. Narrow sand congests like human thought, it clusters in crowds, my mind overflowing with cause. These are the motions of the plague I cannot escape. Vivid winds conquer and drive me to the water, overwhelming forces submerge me. Irresistible tensions drag me to the bottom, the scent light escapes my grasp, and doubt darkness confines my eyes, yet liberates my mind. Scouring blackness dissipates all, securing gloom shushes all. Solace is what I find, hot silence is a dead calm I seek, locked space retained by water, isolated by tide and empty by choice, awakened stillness leads to respite, clustered thoughts break away like fragile glass, endured solitude is my soul. Thank you. And next up we have Aish.
Shout out to Miss Odie's first period. Okay, so I'm playing on the couch with one of my many stuffed animals. In this case, a light purple Hello Kitty. So my 3-year-old self has probably fallen off the couch a million times over the course of my very short life. And as I begin my descent to the carpet, my mom catches my arm, prompting something even worse to happen. I fall back onto the ground, wailing hysterically. My hand flopped lifelessly as tears began pouring down my face. My mother immediately called for my dad. My vision was blurry as I felt myself being picked up from the ground and quickly rushed to the car, where my father fumbled with the car seat, his hands shaking. I looked towards my arm and realized that it didn't quite look normal. My arm was angled weirdly, but my 3-year-old brain couldn't exactly pinpoint how to fix it. As I looked around in the car to spot something I could play with, I found my purple Hello Kitty right next to me. I quickly grabbed onto it, squeezing it tightly to forget about the pain. So my mother drove to the hospital while breaking a few speed limits in the process. After we arrived, my father grabbed me and went straight to the receptionist, worriedly telling her the entire ordeal. As she rolled her eyes, she calmly ordered us to sit and wait for the doctor. My mom and dad conversed nervously. Do you think her arm is broken? No, it's only dislocated. It can't be that bad, right? Naturally, I tuned them out. After calling my name incorrectly, we made our way to the exam room. My father sat me down on the cot carefully, as if I would break like a porcelain doll and be used to much worse. As I left the room, leaving the door open, I resumed playing with my stuffed animal. I decided I was going to make it accomplish a feat of 5 cartwheels in a row, despite being temporarily incapacitated. I stood with my Hello Kitty in hand and the injured arm at my side, ready to complete my mission that my 3-year-old brain had come up with. Startling me, the doctor came through the door, making me frazzled enough to drop the stuffed animal, causing me to fail to accomplish my newest feat. The doctor picked up the stuffed animal and placed it relatively far away from me, which I knew had to be on purpose. My parents rushed to the exam room after seeing the doctor, expectantly waiting for the doctor to magically fix my arm. The doctor got his supplies and listened to my heartbeat, while poking my injured arm numerous times, which hurt, by the way. He conversed with my parents, telling them I had something called nursemaid's elbow. As he explained it, the doctor said that he would return soon to check up on me, and I knew this was my time to seize the opportunity. I scooted over to grab the Hello Kitty. I glanced around the room to make sure that my parents weren't paying attention to me, knowing that they would definitely be stopping me if they knew what I was doing. They were intently listening to the doctor, who was currently explaining how my hurt arm was relatively easy to fix. I stood once again with my Hello Kitty in hand and the determination to finally complete my mission. The Hello Kitty successfully completed 1 cartwheel, but I realized I would need both hands in order to accomplish my feat. I glanced towards my parents, making sure that they were still not paying attention to what I was doing, and clutching the Hello Kitty with both hands, I completed the mission. I twisted the stuffed animal around successfully 5 times, making do 5 cartwheels in a row. And as I did that, I could have sworn I heard my arm snap. I started to wail as a wave of pain crashed over me, with tears once again pouring down my face. My mother rushed to me as my father went outside the room to get one of the nurses. My mother scooped me up in her arms, and I pressed my head against her, wanting the pain to disappear. And surprisingly, it did, because obviously at 3 years old, I had superpowers. Suddenly, as the pain came, it went away. I immediately stopped crying, leaving my mother in confusion. Why did she stop crying? What happened? My father asked, returning with a nurse. My mother set me down on the cot, letting the nurse check my arm. The nurse prodded my arm, which still kind of hurt, by the way, before calling for the doctor. The nurse left and came back with the doctor, and he listened to what the nurse had observed. Then he proceeded to once again jab my arm, laughing slightly when he realized I had no pain. It seems like she popped her arm back into place when she was playing with that doll. She seems to have fixed it all by herself. I looked at the Hello Kitty in astonishment. I knew it had to be magical, as playing with it actually fixed my arm. That's it.
Hi, my name is Florence, and shout out to Mr. Anderson's first period class. As a person who aspires to be a poet, my goal in poetry is to bring out and draw raw emotions that humans constantly feel or choose to ignore. Whether it's the envious feelings of an individual or the holistic motions between the love of a mother and their child, my ideals rest in the feelings that can be grasped in reality. So here I present to you poetry that I find within myself, but not just my own self, but there's a whole universe as it revolves around the motions of humanity and nature. We come together to live on a small, minuscule planet, yet tap into universal existences through our minds, thoughts, feelings, and actions. So here I dedicate a poem called A Mother's Love to my mom and all the moms out there. Dear Mom, I came back from school today and my time at school was actually worthwhile for once, because instead of discussing quantum physics and chemistry and the structures that are contained within an atom that I still don't understand how people even thought to retain the movements of an electron, or rigorous mathematical equations that pertain to the calculus of Sir Isaac Newton's discoveries in position, force, and everything in between. We discussed about love, and not just any love, but how powerful a mother's love for a child is by the celebration of Mother's Day. So what is love and its powers upon us human beings? And how much do you love me? Can your love fill a cup, or can it drown out the vast oceans and seas? Can your love protect me from the world filled of hatred surrounding me,
as I see the days go by filled with complete and utter pain, as humans fight each other and murder in the name of gains? Is your love so strong that when you say it's okay, that I will never feel pain or the thorn of reality pricking me from the rose of life? Is it what keeps me going and smiling during the school day when my energy drains, when I question upon the purpose of my existence? Can the love you have for me fill me to the point where I am never hungry or deprived of affection from this world? Just how much is your love, and how much will it measure up to? I know I'm your gift from God, but you are my caretaker from heaven. Since your touch feels so pure and warm as you put me to sleep after a tough day from school, and the ache on my shoulders from life weighing down on me. Is that why I feel the endearment as if the sun wrapped me with a blanket of its rays? Not too cold, not too hot, just a kiss of heat going from my heart to my entire body. So is your love for me a special bond that allows us to travel from moon to moon, all the way back to earth? And why does the guidance of a mother straighten almost every crooked path and smooth it out as if it was meant to be crossed? What is the brilliant instinct of a mother to her child that is called upon the beginning of pregnancy to the birth and to the growth of the child? I couldn't tell you a word that could express all that is to be a mother, yet I know how it feels since I have a mother that loves me for who I am. So is it the warmth to all my days that are cold and filled with rain from the storms of life? I know for sure that it is a bond that between a mother and her child, because you and I know that a mother's love conquers all. Thank you.
First of all, oh my God. Like, Florence, you had me like crying and like tearing up, and everybody was just incredible. So let's just give them one more. And so a real quick story. So I heard Aisha's before our little nursemaid's elbow, and I'm gonna need you for a second. I'm not gonna hurt you, but I also, speaking of like, I was crying at Florence's because I was thinking about my daughters, but like my daughter's 3 years old, also had nursemaid's elbow. So I'm gonna give you guys a minute to like think of questions while I tell this tangential story. But how many of you guys have had nursemaid's elbow, or even know what that is? Nope. Raise your hand. Is it Michael? Bowie?
You started to raise it, so.
Maybe it still has it. Maybe. Yeah, you are stuck. Michael is just staring daggers at you. But okay, so really quick, what it is, it's like your arm locks and you're in like terrible pain. So my daughter at daycare was like, you know, skipping around and like they were like throwing each other, you know, like as one does at daycare. And then all of a sudden we got this call that she had to come home because her elbow was like stuck. It hurt. And so we're like, okay, so we took her to the emergency room, and like one of our friends was working there, and so he, like we knew he was there, so we knew Dr. Brad was going to be like her savior. But all it is, come here, okay. So all it is that you have to do, if anyone gets a nursemaid's elbow, is this. Don't sue me if like you actually hurt somebody. Okay. So if you like hold it like this, turn it like this, and then this, and then that snaps it back into place. And it's like, your faces are, no, but like, it's like, my friend said that it's like the most magical, like the most amazing thing, because as a doctor, you think you're like, you know, like it's the most satisfying thing you can get, because usually it's like, you know, these crazy stories that people come into the emergency room, you can't fix it, but like, for this, you can fix it that. She also broke her arm twice after that, but like, that wouldn't be fixed with a quick snap. So yeah, bad parenting, I don't know, or, like, or bad daycare. Okay, so questions, what do you got? I know I saw Sean in here. Come on. Okay, I'll give you guys one more minute to think. Oh wait, no, Sean. Yes, Sean. What you got? Does Aish still have the animal? Is that your question, the Hello Kitty? Good question, Sean. There we go. Probably does, but stuck in the closet somewhere. Yes. Good question. What else you guys got for me? Good question. Arvin, what do you want to be asked? Okay. So here's a quick question for you guys. I'm going to warm you up with something, and then I might. Should we do the Roman Empire, or should we do the? Okay. Okay. So I got hit with the social media, but somebody told me
me about this thing. That it's like they're asking people what's their Roman Empire, which is like what is something that you come back to a lot and you think about. And so mine would be fanboys, because every time I hear like a song, I'm like, fanboys, what do they do? You know, Jack, you know what I'm talking about. Ms. Han, you know what I'm talking about. It's like, what do they do with this? And you'll see what they do with a lot of songs on Friday, but that's like my thing. Taylor Swift!
New Percy Jackson show.
New Percy, is it good? Is it? Yeah, okay, so,
That's what you said.
is it? All right. Classic rock!
I would have to say probably Pitch Perfect, because I feel like whatever. Yeah.
I would say the Ishan S show.
I would say, like McDonald's, because my mom knows I love McDonald's, but it just reminds me of my childhood, so.
Follow up. What's your McDonald's order, Florence?
Okay, it's kind of hefty, but I really like a basket of fries with like a cheeseburger. So like a double cheeseburger. A basket of fries with like cheeseburger. Yeah.
All right.
I feel like I said podcast. I'm always coming back to podcast, and I'm going to go to the podcast Wednesday night, recordings, so it all comes together. But I also, my Roman Empire, and I feel like this is how I also relate to this, is whether or not I left my flat iron on. Right? Like it's always the circle back to that.
You got a reaction over there, though. What other questions you got for us before we finish up? Yes, Ali. Thank you. Arvin, Ali wants to know what's your perfect first date idea?
First of all, my perfect date would be Ali. That's it. I really good tip, I guess would be anywhere, but I guess 7-Eleven. That's
So the answer was just Ali, anywhere. What else we got? What? Oh, you, yes.
What do you get from 7-Eleven?
7-Eleven. Everybody though, right? I mean, we'll start with Arvin.
I guess I get like a Slurpee, I guess. With cherry.
What flavor?
We're good. Well, you can talk to him after. You can find out. What? How many of you is this your first writer's book? Can we hear it for our first writer's
Ali, back to you. How scared were you to present? No, I'm terrified. Just yeah.
You all are a great audience, so probably 10. I'm really nervous, but you guys are all great.
I'd definitely say nervous, but once I got up there, just
Definitely very nervous, but more excited than nervous over time.
Oh yeah, I was just nervous. I'm not excited.
I was pretty nervous. I don't like talking in front of crowds, but I just wanted to do it since it's senior year. So.
What am I saying? Okay, so our last question is what you're most excited for this Writers Week. Like next period, we got Go Bikes, Mr. Langer, and we have Mr. Guitar. So what are you most excited for?
Excited about Fanboys on Friday.
Really excited about like the record going to town, so I've read like all of her books.
I'm pretty excited about like seeing the writers present, like definitely that voice.
I'm personally excited for Sierra and Mulder and their podcast.
Well, Isabel stole my answer, so.
I'm excited for fanboys and also to see my other classmates.